Señoras y señores, ¿cómo les va? Estoy en esta ocasión con un personaje de la industria automotriz. Algunos de ustedes lo conocerán, algunos otros no, pero sin duda alguna han escuchado hablar de su marca. Su compañía lleva su apellido, así que estoy con Alex Borla, el fundador y CEO de Borla Exhaust Company. Así que quédense conmigo porque vamos a aprender mucho de esta conversación. Nos va a hablar un poco de su vida, un poco de su compañía y un poco de sus productos. Así que comenzamos. Alex, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you, Ricardo, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. So let's begin. We are going to talk about a little bit of his company, a little bit of his life, and a little bit of his products. So let's begin. Alex, where are you from?
I am from Romania.
Romania.
You know history?
Yeah, a little bit.
You know geography?
Yeah.
Okay. The house where I was born. Okay.
Yeah.
My grandfather was born in the same house.
Okay.
And my mother was born in the same house. Okay. Not unusual, right?
No.
Many people in Mexico, 3 generations.
Yeah.
In the same house. Difference is that my grandfather was Austrian, my mother was Hungarian, and I was Romanian. These are 3 different countries, okay? And we were all born in the same house.
Why?
The house was not a mobile house.
Oh,
Okay?
of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
But through history, okay, wars in Europe, after World War I, they changed Europe around, okay?
Okay.
And Austria and Hungary, they were big, and they had Poland and Romania and all these countries. So my house was in, my grandfather, when he was born, the house was in Austria.
Okay.
Okay. Then later on, they changed again the border.
Okay.
Okay. Austria and Hungary didn't like each other anymore.
Okay.
Okay. So now, no more Austria. My mother is born. She's born in Hungary.
Okay.
Then you have World War II, right? The Hungarians were on the side of the Nazis. The Romanians were on the side of the Russians. Okay, after the war, they give the Romanians more land because they won the war. Okay, so now I was born in the same house, and I was born in Romania.
Okay. Very
Is this
good.
complicated enough for you?
No. I went to school and I understand a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So you were born after World War
I was born after World War II,
II?
okay, and the first year after World War II. So I was born in 1946.
Okay.
World War II ended in 1945.
Okay. When did you decide to move from Romania?
It really was not my decision
Okay.
because I was very young.
How old?
I was 12. It was my parents' decision. Romania was communist, was behind the Iron Curtain, and we did not have too many opportunities. Okay? So it was really my stepfather who decided that we had to leave.
You left Romania with all your family?
I left it with my mother and father, okay, and we escaped because we were not allowed to leave. We escaped from Romania.
Okay.
We were refugees.
Okay. And you went to New York?
The first country we went to was Austria. I lived in Austria for about 8 months. Then we had to leave Austria because people didn't want us there. Then we went to France. I lived in France for about 3 months. Then the French didn't want us there, so we had to escape. And we went to a place called Belgium. We lived in Belgium for about 7, 8 months. And then we finally were able to get documents to come to America. So it took us 2 years of waiting to immigrate to America.
While you were waiting, what did you do?
What did we do? In Austria, I went to school, and I learned German. In France, for 3 months, we didn't do very much. Then in Belgium, I also went to school, but I didn't go to school. My parents thought I went to school, but I did not. I went to a motorcycle shop.
Okay.
An old man had a little shop. He was working on motorcycles, and I would stand in the door and just look.
Really?
Okay, and after I don't know,
How old were you?
I was maybe 13. So after I don't know a week, maybe 2 weeks, he needed some help for something because something was heavy. He asked me to go and help him. So from that point on, every day, instead of going to school, I went to his shop. And I learned how to fix and repair motorcycles.
Did you receive salary from him?
No,
Nothing.
no.
Just learning.
Yes, that's enough.
Yeah, right. When you are beginning, that's it.
So I already started at 13 to fix motorcycles. And every once in a while, he'd get a car. And we'd work on a car. So I started learning how to work on cars and motorcycles.
So then you traveled to United States.
We got our documentation. We came to America. In America again, I went to school, okay? But after school, I was fixing cars. My friends' cars, my father's friends' cars, my father's father. I taught my father how to drive a car,
So the cars are in your blood.
100%. I never liked anything else,
Just cars.
and girls. Okay?
We talk about that later.
Okay.
Okay, so you study primary, secondary. What did you study?
I don't exactly know how it's categorized in the United States, but I graduated high school,
High school.
okay? But before I graduated, I already in my middle year in high school, I already had my own shop. I had a repair shop fixing Volkswagens. Because Volkswagens were new in America.
The Beatles.
Beetles,
Beatles.
buses,
Okay.
Karmann Gias,
Yeah.
okay? The American mechanics did not know how to work on it.
Yeah.
You take them to a gas station, they didn't know where the motor was, in the front, in the back. Okay.
They open the hood and
Looking for
think
a
that
motor.
is missing the engine.
Seriously,
Okay.
So many of the cars I would get to fix was from other gas stations. They used to give me the car to fix for their customers. So that's, Volkswagen was a big part of my life.
Really? Okay, so you continue fixing.
I continued fixing cars. Then eventually I sold the shop.
You left school.
I graduated high school.
High school?
I didn't go to my graduation ceremony because I had to work.
Okay.
Okay? But the way it worked was that school would end about noon, okay? And I would walk to my shop. My shop was not far from the school. And I had a man who worked for me, he opened in the morning. Yeah.
Your shop was in New York,
New York, in Queens,
Queens.
in Jamaica, where Mr. Trump is from.
Okay. Trump was your neighbor.
He was living in the same neighborhood, yes.
You know
I
Trump?
knew when I was 16, yes.
Okay.
And I would go after school, I would go to work, and then my worker would go home 4 o'clock, and I would stay and close maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. And the next morning go to school. And
Why did you decide to sell the shop?
I decided to sell the shop because I wanted to join the army. And I sold the shop and I enlisted, and they didn't take me.
Why?
Medical reasons. Okay. So they didn't take me in the army. I went to work for Volkswagen. But then I was very good on Volkswagens. And there was a Volkswagen dealer who was opening a new dealership. And I went to work for them.
What year was that opportunity? What year are we talking about?
We are talking about maybe 1966, 1967.
I know you work for Carroll Shelby.
Yes.
How did that begin?
Very interesting story. I have a friend who had a body shop. And in his body shop, he had a Porsche that was in an accident in the front. And the customer would go away. You never find a customer. We had no papers to register the car. So we decided to make a race car from it. Okay. We didn't know very much about race cars, but my friend had a picture in his office from a Porsche RS 60, which is got behind your head. It's got a little crash bar, really sleek little car. So we basically followed that picture and we built this car to look like that. Okay. And my friend didn't like to drive. He was not interested. Okay. So I took the car to the track. Okay. And I started driving.
So not only a mechanic, also a pilot.
Well, I didn't know if I was a good driver, bad driver.
You just did it.
I just liked it.
Okay.
Okay. And then, I spent enough time on the track and I made friends and they spent time with me and teach me, okay, how to drive properly. And the car had very low power. So through corners, you had to manage the power because you didn't have enough power. So I was very good in going through corners because I had to keep the speed. And I worked for a Volkswagen dealer who became a Porsche dealer. And Porsche was coming into America at that time with the 911s. And I was at the track with my car, driving around the track, and the Porsche factory team was there. Okay? And I speak German, and I got to know the guys, and one of the guys asked me, says, you want to try one of our new cars, one of our Porsche 911s, okay? Now the Porsche 911 had 4 times more power than the car I had. I've never driven anything with that kind of power. So in the first corner, I
Okay.
okay, that's
You
as far as
lost
I
control.
got. No. So they were laughing, okay? I finally
Okay.
make my way back,
Okay.
and one of the guys says, okay, go again. So he got in my right seat, okay? And he showed me basically the trick, okay, in driving one of these Porsches. And the real trick is that once you're in a corner, okay, if you think you're going too fast, you cannot stop, okay? You just have to have courage to keep power and come out, okay? Because if you take your foot off the gas,
Okay.
okay? So once I learned that, from that point on, I started driving their cars. And they basically made me a factory driver for Porsche. So I was with them for almost a year. Okay. And then I'm in Europe with them. And again, the American team is there with Carroll Shelby. I speak English.
Okay.
So, my personality basically got together. And Carroll used to watch me drive, and we had a couple of dinners with the team, and I told him what my background was. Anyhow, he put me in one of the Ford GTs. Okay, now, it's 4 times more horsepower. Okay. And I took the car out, and I told him the car was no good.
Really?
Yes.
So that Ford GT had 16 times more power than your first car?
Porsche, my first Porsche, maybe 8 times.
Okay.
Okay. I told him the car was no good. In the corners he was pushing, and he was very impressed that I could feel the car. Okay. So they made some adjustments. They took it out again. It got better. Okay. And maybe after 4 or 5 times, the car was really good. Then they put one of their drivers in, and he went much faster. So he started using me to set the cars up.
Okay. For the other drivers.
Because I had the mechanical background. The other guys knew the car wasn't performing, they couldn't tell them what the problem was.
Yeah. Like a baby who is sick, no? You know he's sick, but you don't know why he's sick.
You have to feel the car, you have to feel it, And that was it, but Carol and I became friends.
Very, very interesting. And going back to your history, arriving to America, you you began working with this Volkswagen dealer, and what happened later? What's between Volkswagen and Volvo?